There we go. Finally, it's actually cooperating with me here. The Zoom room wasn't cooperating, so we are going live here on Facebook. Just waiting to see if anybody actually shows up, or if anybody does show up or has any questions. Just because I remember when I started homesteading and was, I don't know, just doing different things. I really had to have a why. And I remember when I started homesteading that I wanted to be self sufficient. I wanted to be able to grow my own food, to be able to produce my own food, to just take care. Hey, Gail, to be able to take care of just me, right? Me, my family, my household, and everything. So, looking forward, looking into solar, looking into keeping cows and stuff like that. Just basic self sufficiency. So, is there? We got two viewers. Gail's one of them, or at least said hi. And anyway, we just got. You probably saw on the page that we just got some pigs. Some pigs were exciting. They were kind of unexpected. Nathaniel messaged me and was like, "Hey, I got something for you," and I was like, "All right, let's do it." And we did. We just we jumped on that, and now they live. I mean, they're potbelly pigs. They're not like pork pigs, so they just live there for a bit. But today I was out gathering some wood, scrap, metal. I don't know how many people or if anybody welds. It's a huge benefit. Like if you were looking for a trade or something to learn, definitely learning welding was huge for me because coming from a background like mom always did woodworking, my grandfather was a huge woodworker, and learning metalwork was so huge. Was really cool to be able to know how to fix just about anything, like any machines and stuff. And I mean, some little metal is like little tack weld here and there. Maybe I can do a video on the group if people are interested in how to weld. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but it's not. Yeah, well, it is. It is something that is super beneficial for having on a farm. Whether you're working on implements or whether you're just trying to build stuff, welding is definitely of benefit. Um, what else do we have? I keep amassing bunnies, but I also think I'm almost to the point where like I'm over it. Um, I got like 4 or 5 new bunnies this week, and like there's a difference when you like raise them and you grow them and they're your own production. But now having the pigs and looking forward into having cows and just the hassle or the pain in the ass that rabbits are, they get out. They're friggin' magicians. I don't know how they get out so easily, but they're friggin' magicians, and they're just they're hard to contain. Whereas I feel like cows and other larger livestock are quite a bit easier. Um, what is sorry, I just got a message from work there. What else? Is there anything anybody watching? Anything you're curious about? Or any advice, especially advice is huge because I really like being able to learn different things and to grow in everything that I'm doing or trying to do, at least. Um, so yeah, I brought home a bunch of pallets and steel today. And ooh, great question, Michael. Just give me one sec. I brought I'm acting like other people, or I'm talking to other people. But regardless, so yeah, I brought home a bunch of stuff, and I'm thinking of in the far corner, which I don't know if you've watched the YouTube videos and are familiar with my property, but in the far corner, I want to put a little stable and then start penning things off because I don't really want to wait to buy some more land. Michael says, what are some useful skills for homesteading? How to get by without things like a tractor or other equipment. I'm driving, so I'll be doing more lists. Okay. Thanks. Thank you for the compliment. Great page, great info. What is a good, useful skill? I think basic carpentry, huge. Like basic carpentry is definitely going to be number one on the list, only because woodworking is just about like your house is probably 80 to 90% wood. Basically any of the pens or anything, just a couple of saws and a couple of really good tools like a drill. You can get by on hand tools like hammers and nails and hand saws and stuff, which I use and have on occasion. But having basic woodworking, and then even just a step up from that, having metalworking skills would be huge as well, because you'd be able to fix things like you said, like tractors or other equipment once you get them. So that is something, I'm glad you brought that up. That's something that I feel stupid about. I bought a tiller. You may have seen my tiller, and I think I posted in the group that I basically strapped a 3-point hitch tiller to a shopping cart. There's a picture of that way back that I tried. Anyway, I was ambitious and I thought that I could make this tiller work. It wasn't just one of the push behind ones. And so technically we didn't have a tiller. We don't have a tractor. I have my truck, but my truck is only 2-wheel drive, so it's not like hugely of benefit for everything anyway. I mean, it's great. Like having a truck is super helpful. Other useful skills, I would say, if it works. Other useful skills that I would say are worth having would be, see, woodworking is the biggest. A little more information. I guess I kind of take for granted my background in animal biology and physiology. So knowing a little bit, like veterinary skills, and not like anesthesia and cutting things over, but just generic things, even just the confidence to be able to do basic veterinary skills or basic veterinary things, taking care of animals, putting down animals when you have to, or even butchering a little bit. But being able to understand, like, okay, this animal looks kind of sick, or this animal is acting different. So to have that wherewithal to be able to know, especially your animals, as I cycle through animals, I have to learn them, because each one, believe it or not, actually has a personality. So when an animal has a personality, you kind of have to learn it, and whether, okay, they're sassy or they have a different demeanor. So that would definitely be another one. I think it's one of those things that if you just can figure things out, and I don't know if that's necessarily a skill or a personality trait, but I think if you are the type of person to be able to, I guess I correlate homesteading with frugality, with like not spending a ton of money and kind of the DIY. So if you are a do-it-yourselfer and are the type of person to be able to throw things together, to fix things, and not necessarily half-ass things, because I think that's a personality flaw, definitely one that I have. But I think being able to just like, okay, the animal, like for me this week, the bunnies were escaping. It's like, okay, well, one, do you have a trap that you're able to, or a live trap that you're able to catch them with and bring them back? Two, how are they getting out, and sort of being able to figure that out. So those are huge. I mean, it depends on what kind of homesteading you're doing too. So a little bit of botany, a little bit of agriculture. I think it's much less about skills, because it doesn't take a rocket scientist to do a lot of what homesteading is. But I think it takes more, just you figure it outofness. So if you have the ability to just sort of go along, or it's really great to be able to think through some problems. If you're open, have the ability to learn from your mistake. That is huge, especially this, like with this being my, thanks Darren, with this being my first year homesteading. I never grew up on a farm. I never really had farm experience. I had a little bit of agriculture experience when I worked at Strawberry Hill, but that was just like taking care of other people's animals. But if you can learn from your mistakes, and even we've made a ton of mistakes this summer alone. Our garden isn't growing like I was excited to have a huge garden, and then the tiller to work, and it sucked. I had to borrow a tiller. But if you you're gonna make mistakes along the way, and it's something that even with the bunnies dying, or with things I've had to put down unexpectedly, some chickens in the beginning, like the early days when I just had a few chickens, yeah, you're gonna make mistakes and you're gonna just like kill things. I've killed a lot of plants and a lot of not a lot. Saying I killed a lot of animals sounds bad. I mean, I've had to put down a couple of chickens, roosters, and stuff, which I've just gotten used to. Which not everybody has to. Not everybody has to be okay with that, which is totally fine. That's what butchers are for. But you're gonna, yeah, you're gonna mess up. I don't know how well our garden is gonna produce this year, like at all. It needs weeding like super bad right now, and things aren't growing great. And I think that's partly, in part, because took we didn't really prep the ground. I spent so much time half-assing the greenhouse that I didn't really think that, okay, if I could do this right once, and then move on to, okay, let's seed things inside, let's grow things. So I think we're behind the ball, and we didn't know anything. Like, we were still trying to figure things out, and we've learned a lot already, and I think we're excited now that we have the pigs to be able to get larger animals. How did I recover from my animal losses? I mean, what happened and what you saw, so the video that I produced and the emotion and it was a rough week. Like, I was busy, I was stressed out, I had a lot of deadlines and stuff, and then we had a couple bunnies die. You're just coming out of seasonal affective disorder or just seasonal SAD, right? And it was a lot of compounding things that just like, okay, one thing died. You're like, that's weird. I don't know why they're dying. And then a couple more things died. And you're like, well, frig, this isn't good. This is on me at this point, right? Like, a couple of things die, and it's like, oh, that sucks. But as more things start to die, you're like, okay, I'm doing something wrong. So it was just like that pinnacle, that head of, we lost, 20 animals that week, and chickens and bunnies included. So it was just emotionally a lot for that week. And I've recovered fine. I'm almost back up. I think I have 10 bunnies now. Alice, I just had a litter this morning that again, being so busy, I haven't had time to post about. But she had a small litter. I brought her inside. She's in a cage here, hence the gesture to over there. She's actually like 10 feet from me. But yeah, that it's not a big deal. I guess, like, animals die, and that was a lot. Like, I posted on another homesteading group, and people have commented on the YouTube page that if you can't handle an animal dying, and I don't know why I speak like that, but it just felt condescending. It's like, if you can't handle an animal dying, you shouldn't be homesteading. It's like, well, that's not true. That's not right. Like, yes, if you're going to eat meat, I would say that you should be or could be more familiar with where your food comes from, but it's not something that like having empathy, right? Like, you should have empathy, especially for your animals, and you don't have to be like sissy about it, but just being able to have that empathy for your animals, because you want to take care of them. Like, there's a lot of, I want to have respect for my food and for my animals, and there's a lot of larger factory farms that just don't take care of their animals. Like, you've seen the videos of Super Size Me. And see you, Darren. We'll talk soon, and I'll actually, if you have a chance to watch this back, I'll address your patience and determination comment. I just want to finish this thought. But yeah, we've all seen the videos of like the big factory farms where the chickens like can't walk, and it's just sad, right? But I still eat meat, but I don't want to I don't want an animal that's been abused. Right, so I want to take care of them, and I mean, the animals mentally are a lot different than humans are with regards to existence, as far as I know. That hasn't been proven otherwise. But to go back to Darren's comment there, having patience and determination. Stuff won't grow faster, and if you're tired and you still have to I'm an impatient person. I like it, like, even when I get home from a video shoot, like, I want to edit it now because I want to get it done. Just because I just let things drag on. But also sometimes I just have no off. So I just have no, like, I don't have time for that, and I just prioritize poorly. But patience and determination is huge, because you'll need... Man, there's so much, like, it's so hard to work all day, be exhausted, come home, and like, okay, especially in the winter time, winter, I would wager or say is the hardest, because like you're splitting wood, you're trying to keep warm, the days are shorter. So having the determination, especially if you have animals during that time, like taking care of animals and keeping warm and not having any sunlight, so you're not getting vitamin D, and you're just like go 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 go. If you don't have the determination to take care of your animals, you're going to burn out, or something's going to give, right? Like if you don't have time. But being able to have that stick with itness and the patience to continue learning. Wiseman and a money. What do you mean by a money tree? Like an actual money tree, like the ones with the, what are those, the 5 leaves or whatever, or like having a ton of money? Because homesteading can get expensive, especially going back to like vet bills or something, like expensive for vet bills and taking care of stuff. But yeah, especially with the additions, like you want a tractor, you want a bigger, more seeds, more animals, more, so you're paying for feed, and you're just, so you can, yeah, it can take a lot of money, especially startup. I don't think there's really like a buy it and keep going, like unless you're genuinely taking over a homestead or a farm. There's really no like just buy into a homestead. It's kind of a build it and figure it out again. Go back to figure it out on your own and figuring out how you can make things work. Yeah. All right. If you are, I'll be away for the weekend. I probably won't be commenting on the group very much, but if you wanted to look back, check out some of my videos. If you're new to the group, thank you. We just reached? Yes. We just got to. Reached felt weird there for some reason. We just got to 1,000 members in the group. Thank you very much. If you are, I recognize some people that have been founding members that have been here since the early days. Not that we've been going very long, but thank you to everybody who has joined in the last little while. If you're listening to this live or if you're listening to this after the fact, thank you so very much. I'm trying to figure this out. It means a lot to have a large group, because the bigger the group gets, we're able to talk to each other and to know each other's history. There's a lot of homesteading groups on Facebook, but I wanted to start my own, to sort of start small and then continue to grow, so you could see people's progress, right? And I think that's one of the coolest things to be able to have, and even on my YouTube videos to be able to look back on, to go back to, is something really cool to be able to just have that progression. I think as we develop a community and try to grow here, it's something that will be good, and we'll be able to keep tabs on each other and see. I know a lot of people have posted their gardens that are looking better than mine, and I don't appreciate that. But huge thanks to everybody who's joined in the last little while, and the founding members, whoever were some of the first ones to join. And even if you're not interested in homesteading but just my content, thank you. But for those people who are into homesteading or homesteaders themselves, Darren, I know you are, and a few other people are as well, thank you for helping me out. Like, there's some stuff that I just don't know, and there's even been in the group some really cool tricks that people just like, hey, especially on our Tip Tuesdays, like, if there's stuff I don't know, there's stuff would be interesting to learn. And I think maybe if I have some more time in the next little while, I will do some videos on just Tuesday tips, either things I know or things that I've been taught recently, especially given the season. We're coming summertime, it's almost harvest, or hopefully almost harvest, not even close for any of the stuff. I guess Nicole harvested some radishes earlier, but yeah, I might be able to film some videos and just talk about some tips, maybe how to weld if you're curious, or if there's any skills or things that you're like, hey, I don't know how to do that, I'd like to learn. Might be fun to do some videos, some lives like this, some interactive ones. If you do have questions, well, I'm thinking welding especially. So if you do have questions, but even if you are watching my YouTube videos. If you have questions or comments on there, it helps support me, and I would love to be able to do our homesteading group. I'd love to be able to do our group full time, but until it can pay my bills, I can't really do that. But yeah, there are plenty of my homegrown videos there, and some other ones. Sometimes, especially when I'm out filming, I get into some craziness. But yeah, it's been cool. Growing this community is a lot of fun, and I never really thought I'd be the kind of guy that'd be like, community together, let's build this. But homesteading and just taking care of animals, growing my own food, self-sufficiency is something I'm so passionate about. So it gets me excited when other people actually care, when I oftentimes don't, or it may look like I don't care. So, all right. Thank you for joining. There's been a few people in and out here. I really appreciate it. Keep posting in the group. Like I said a little bit earlier, I will be away for the weekend. So hit me up, send me a message. I'll be filming a lot, but hopefully I can still be a little bit active on the group. Oh, and don't worry about the animals. The animals are going to stay here. They can't really move. And my parents are going to come for the weekend while we're up north filming. So thank you guys again so very much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I appreciate all the feedback and all of the things that you guys have taught me already. All right, now I have to awkwardly like lean forward and hit the off button. Thanks, guys.